Come get some.
Con 11. That's right, the 11th. Actually 12th, but the 11th time Con is coming at you February 27th and 28th. And watch out, because Sunday night is gonna be wild. What's up? I hope y'all like that. That was kind of fun. Hey, what's happening? I'm out here tonight. I got our first guest right here in the background. Bring him in right now. We ain't gonna mess around. We got Dustin Brunel. What's happening?
What's up, Pops? How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good. You know how I'm doing, man. It's always fun for me.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you having me on.
Do you like that new intro?
The new intro is really cool, man. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I believe you got a teammate of mine working on that intro in there too, some of that artwork. That's pretty dope. Yes. I dig that.
Yes, there's some Manny Soto in there. There's some Edwin Artex Badillo. Marseille Phillips has some art in there. And the guy who made the video, Lee Reese, has some art in there. Yeah.
For sure. It's incredible, man. I dig it. You know,
so how you doing, bro? I ain't talked to you in a while.
Yeah, I'm good, man. We're about to put out book number 2. You know, we go live on February 15th. We're doing a big launch party for that with our management team from Inked. Really excited to have Kevin and them guys helping us out, get that all situated and popping off real loud. Absolutely. Inked Marketing, man. Those guys have been a blast, super helpful, you know, and the stuff they offer is bananas, you know. So the Kickstarter starts February 15th. Right now, though, before that, you guys actually can get a hold of a copy of The Listener, Book 1, by running over to the Swords and Solace Kickstarter.
Right.
And if you guys pick up a copy of Swords and Solace, you'll get a free PDF of The Listener Book 1, which is super exciting.
We had that on our banner the other day. I think you guys were 5 or 6 short of your backer plateau for that particular reward.
Yeah, they hit it like yesterday.
Okay,
so
cool.
We're really excited about that. So we're all going to be, you know, making sure everybody gets their copies out. We'll also be giving, I don't know how we're doing that tier just yet, but as soon as we hit that tier, you guys will be, that's the Listener Kickstarter right there. How cool. That bit link for the new one. So if you guys, one cool thing we're doing right now with that link is if you go to that link, you click follow and you take an image of it, email me at dustin@thelistenercomics.com. I'll get it. We're going to do a raffle on the 15th when we do the launch party. Whoever gets picked from those images is going to get a free CGC copy of The Listener Book 1. And it'll be the Adam Fields Virgin variant. So we're excited about that. You know, our buddy Adam, he's already itching on Book 3, man. So, you know, he killed another copy for another cover for us for Book 2. So we're real excited about that. Actually, he did a inked variant as well, for Inked for that book. So we're real hyped about that.
Good friend of mine, a longtime friend of mine.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We love Adam, man. He's such a good guy. He's been a staple of our team since we started. And we're more than happy and cannot wait to have many years ahead with him because he's an absolute incredible gentleman. Mad fun to work with. So Book 2 leads off right off where Book 1 left off, like literally instances after Book 1 left off. So you'll get right back into the heat of things where you guys left off. Now we're pushing a lot of different things right now with The Listener because of how well Book 1 did. The responses have been amazing, and we are eternally grateful to everyone that has supported the book, got involved. I mean, one of the most fun things that we're doing right now, and you probably heard about it on Will's show, is we're doing soap for Book 2 as an add-on. And I think that's a lot of fun because it smells, I kid you not, it smells just like whiskey, gunpowder, and campfire smoke. And it's just awesome. It's awesome. So you can snag a bar of soap with your order, $5 for a bar of soap. Really, really cool. And we've got a lot of other cool things that we didn't have before that we're pushing through right now. Like in the background right now, you can actually see David Acampo's one of his 11 by 17s that he did for us.
Hold on.
One on the left is it's his 11 by 17 poster, and then his cover is the image on the right, which is a homage cover to Turok. Let me see if I can share that image with you guys real quick. Hold on. Beautiful pieces, like absolutely stunning pieces from him. He's actually, I can't find it right this second, but believe it or not, he's so excited that he's already working on the cover for book 3 as well. So 3 of our 4, staple cover artists are already kicking out covers for book number 3 because the story is so enticing to them that they're on it. You know what I mean? Right. So we know that we're dealing with a Native American protagonist who's a veteran, and he gains the ability to see the dead, and that's just so wild. And we show that off a lot more in book 2 because it's so very prevalent. We go from having these characters to seeing a whole different side of the book when we get into the second volume. And Pops will get his PDF as soon as we get it all together. Right now, all the artwork's done. This week, we're working on the lettering. That's one of those things that we as a team try to make sure you guys understand. The book is done before we go to Kickstarter. So there's no waiting for it. It gets printed as soon as the Kickstarter is done, and you guys get the book. I mean, that's how it works. It's an interesting concept to me to have to wait for something I've paid for already. I'm not a big fan of that. 2 months, 3 months after I paid. I kid you not. It just happened to me the other day. I got a delivery in the mail, and I didn't even know what it was. You know what I mean? I guess I had backed the Kickstarter months and months ago, and it came in the mail, and I was just like, well, that's cool. At least it came in the mail because I forgot. But there are a lot of really cool nuances that we bring into the second book. We introduce noble spirits, and noble spirits are Addie's guardians. We're really excited about that. To be able to show off the supernatural aspects of the book that we've talked about, and we've talked a lot about, but we showed very little of in the first book because we were leading up to it, and we wanted you guys to have that build up, that vibe you get.
What's up, Rich?
Hey, Rich, how's it going, man?
Kevin, what's happening?
Kevin, but yeah, so we're pushing out into a different direction, so you guys can actually get a grip on what to expect in the future of the listener. Yeah, Steve. So the listener basically started. My uncle died, and Pops has heard the story. My uncle died not long ago, and he was one of the first Native American Green Berets. And he used to tell us all these crazy stories, like wild stuff that he had to deal with. And I got to this point where it was just, I looked forward to go seeing him just to hear his stories, these wild tales that he would tell us. And when he passed away, I was like, man, they need to be told. People need to hear these stories. It needs to become they can't just disappear, because I can't not tell people. If I forget, it's gone. We don't have it anymore. And I didn't want that to be the case. So what I did was I took his stories and I mixed them with supernatural horror, like to a point where religious horror, the boogeyman horror, stuff like that, like old school stories. But I brought them to a different light, and we've written them to be a much scarier thing than Hansel and Gretel when we were kids. I take his tales from, being in the war and stuff, and I intermingle these horrific stories with them. So you get a feel for what really happened, and the moral behind what happened. Because I don't pull punches on his stories. The most fantastical things in the book are things that really happened. So we like there's a point in the first book where we talk about a guy that gets his eye, well, we show a guy that gets his eye blown out by an arrow, you know. And
Look,
I'm an
okay.
80s kid. Well, go ahead, Pop. Go ahead, Pops.
Let me jump in as a fan real quick. Look, this book was amazing. Okay, they sent Destin sent me PDF, and it was like I think I said something to the effect of yeah, that's real deep. I'm gonna have to read that again and get back to you or something like that. I was like, I didn't have the words right away because it was like, take a deep breath, try to what's the word I'm looking for?
You were trying to process it, is what you told me.
There you go.
Were like, I need
to
some
process
days.
what you just read and then think about it for a second. Go, no, I'm gonna have to read it again.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much what happened to me. And I told him that.
It was such a cool experience because Pops was one of like the first 5 people to read my book. It wasn't like it had been around. I was just like, man, my buddy was like, Dustin, other people have to read it. It can't just be people that you know. You know what I mean? In this business, you got to get it out there to people that haven't read it. So I sent it to a few people, Pops included, and I was like, I want you guys to be floored every time, and I appreciate that, Roy. He was a great man. He was an incredible human being. Actually, if you get a copy of the first book, there's a picture of him on the back of the first book, an old picture. Very, very cool stuff. But we take this feeling of desensitivity that we have now, right? We've seen the blood, we've seen the gore, we know that, we've got that. I wanted to take you to a place where it wasn't the gore that horrified you anymore. It was the action, like what it was, the sense of a real dude did this, or a real dude, caused that to happen. There are really gnarly folks out there, and it wasn't because they wanted to do it for a country. It wasn't because they were doing it for any self-righteous agenda. It was because they were trying to live through what they were going through. That was all it was. It was simply, hey, I want to go home. And when you're good at it, they stick you in the furthest shit they can stick you in. And those were his stories, man. They'd put him down with like 3 other dudes in the middle of the nastiest shit they could do and have him clean it up before all the brass got to come down after him. It was like, okay, if we're going to set up camp and we're going to send everybody in after it, we're going to send these 5 dudes in there, because if they die, we're not worried about it. But they're going to make sure it's cleaned up before we get down there. Yeah, man. Pops posted a bit link just a second ago if you want to hop in on there. Like I said, if you click follow on the Kickstarter, at that link, if you hit follow on the Kickstarter, take a screenshot and send it to me at Dustin at thelistenercomics.com, and I'll put you in for a raffle. So we're picking someone out of the raffle this coming Monday at our launch party. And if you get picked, you'll get a CGC copy of Adam Field's Virgin Variant, which was a beautiful cover. I mean, Adam destroyed that. I mean, it just came out looking so good.
I just hit that notified button.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what it looks like. All you have to do is hit saved.
I did it live, right? I'm good. I don't have to send you the screen.
You're good, man. You don't have to send me anything. I got you, man. I got you. So if you click that saved button, just take a screenshot, man. Send it to me, and it'll be put in with the other guys, Pops included. And whoever gets picked on Monday, this Monday coming up, the 15th, February 15th, we're doing a live launch party. We'll pick the winner from that. I'm also going to announce the artists who we picked as a team to add to our book. So we have, which was a lot of fun, because I wanted to give back. Oh man, I wanted to give back so bad. I already got you. I got a package for you and Will, because Will was like, "Hey, us old guys, we need some shit," and I was like, "Okay." So
I'll bet I know some of the artists that you're.
I bet you do. I bet you do.
I do
for sure. I bet you do. I took a bunch of guys that have been jonesing to get in published work, and I put them in here. And originally it was only going to be one person that I picked, and that's how we were going to do it. I did a giveaway for that, and I did a giveaway for an idea. I wrote the idea I told Pops I would write about, that we did on the madness. It's absolutely bananas. And then I'm 32 books in for the listener. that storyline is one of them. And
y'all gonna love this. Y'all gonna love this.
Oh man, it's so dirty. It was the weirdest thing I've ever. And I've wrote some weird shit, and it's weird. It's real weird. But it's scary and it's gnarly and it's such a the story is so deep. If you got to read between the lines with my writing, I like to give you guys things to think about, because if I don't, you'll forget. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things like comic books are. If you pick one up and you read it, it's like an issue of X-Men. Okay, when we were kids, you know, you pick up an issue of X-Men. Oh, it was cool. I read it. I'm caught up. A month ago, a month would go by and I would forget what happened in the X-Men. You know what I mean? Right. I can't afford to write the listener like that. You guys have to remember the pages that I put together. So, I mean, I'm a fan of splash pages. I'm a fan of scary shit. I'm a fan of making people go, what the hell did I look at? You know?
Yeah. And he'll get you a few times as you go through this book. You'll be like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When you flip that page, when you flip the page, man, I want you to remember when you got there. You know what I mean? But there's a lot to it. Please, by all means, Brad, I'm excited to have people check it out. I'm excited to have people see it. Our artists are absolutely incredible. You know, our cover artists to our interior artists, everybody puts in the time and the work, and they work really hard. I promise you. Like I was just telling Pops a few minutes ago, 3 of our 4 cover artists for the next book are already doing their covers. You know, we're not anywhere even near panels for book 3 yet, and everybody's jonesing to jump into it. You know, so it's just a lot of fun. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate it. As we push through, we're working on right now. One of the cool things that you guys will see if you've saved the listener when winds weep, there's a limited run 30 print. Okay, I've already got 2 of them that won't be going out. So 28 print book that will be a dossier on like 30 different characters that are coming out in the listener. So this is the only place you'll be able to get this. It's a 60-page book, okay, alongside with the comic book. So it's a 60-page book with art on one side and a whole bunch of information about the character on the right-hand side. It was such an interesting challenge to create that without giving away any kind of spoilers for the book itself as it comes out. And we've dubbed that particular book Guy's Journal, Guy being one of our main characters in the story. So I'm really excited that you guys will be able to get a hand on that for the Kickstarter, because, yeah, it may come out again as a reprint, but this first print's going to be pretty awesome, I promise. Like, it'll be like nothing you've seen in a real long time. I mean, back to the days of the Polito, you know, the original Polito books and stuff. So
he said, back to the days,
man.
Polito.
I love Brian, man, and you know.
Did you catch that little glimpse of Brian in my intro?
No, I didn't see it. That's funny though.
He was in the first CromCon, man. He had
I remember you mentioning that. I do. I remember.
He had to be in the intro, you know. I mean,
yeah, for sure, most definitely. But he used to do really cool things with his covers that people didn't do. And look, but you know, I don't do books like him, his type of book. You know what I mean? So it had to be. I wanted to do something cool because he was one of the guys that inspired me to get into comic books in the beginning. So I wanted to make sure that I did something really cool. If I said I was going to do something that he would have done in the 80s, the early 90s, I wanted to do it. You know what I mean? So it had to be good. So then as we go through that, we've also got a glimpse of our tabletop game we'll be showing off on Monday.
Yeah, talk about it a little bit if you can.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're really excited about that. So the tabletop game, I've been writing werewolf campaigns for like 15 years. And it's nice when Kevin actually came up to me. He was like, man, you should do some more with your ideas. You know, there's a lot going on. Do some more with your stuff, man. He was like, because it's a winner. And I was like, yeah, you're just saying that. He was like, no, it's a winner, dude. Do something with it. And I was like, okay. So I wrote this campaign, and we played through it a couple times at the house. You know, it was a homebrew game. You know, we made it and we, you know, went through it a few times. And then I was like, dang, what else could I really do? Can we make a full-on game with this? The world of the listener is so big that can we do this? You know, yeah. So now we have a tabletop game coming out. We'll be promoting it. We'll be playing like an hour of it Monday coming up. I did something really neat for some fans that have been backing us since the start. I sold tickets, and you guys are welcome to come hang out with us for that promotion. But I sold tickets to 5 people to come and play with the creative team of the listener. So they'll get to sit in on the talks with all you guys. They'll get to sit on the launch, but they'll be playing the game with us Monday evening, and they'll be playing every week on Friday.
Monday.
I know. Trust me. You know, my ad team said they needed a month from my original date, so I had to do something. Sweet. Thanks, Roy. We appreciate it, sir. So what we did was I wanted to do something really cool, right? But if you play a Superman game, everybody wants to be Superman. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be Supes. So, you know, in D&D and Pathfinder, Werewolf, stuff like that, you have a dungeon master or a storyteller. What we did was we made it so that the dungeon master is the listener, so that there's no in-betweens, no misunderstandings. The listener is a character that is supposed to be a neutral character in the world we've created anyway. So he'll be a neutral character in the game. So there currently are 5 different classes you can play with 3 different specs apiece. You guys will get to see one of each of the classes played. But like I said, Monday this week. Okay, Pops, I got you on that. Monday this week. Every other week following until we drop the book will be on Friday. It was just because the way the dates fell and stuff like that, we didn't want to do Valentine's Day weekend. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so you'll get to see
So what
veteran.
time is that? What time is that?
7 o'clock Eastern.
7 o'clock Eastern.
7 o'clock Eastern.
So I got Rich Parada, I think, at 8 p.m. and I ain't gonna book nobody else. I'm gonna come over and do.
Man, come hang out, man. Yeah, come hang out with us because we've got. So we'll be showing off a lot of the gameplay. We'll be showing off one of the maps. The map was really well done. We appreciate that. We added a new. Man, every one of my books has a team. Like, so we've got one team over here for the listener. We've got one team over here for the other book that you've heard a little bit about. So the 2 books. Then we've got a whole nother team working on the game. You know, so we got a lot of going on right now with a lot of different people. That image is a key image, a key panel. Really excited about that particular panel because not everybody lives in the list. Do what now?
Should we get out the way and let them see it?
Yeah, please, by all means, show it to them.
Right, hold on. Oh, that looks wicked. I like
Man, we're gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I put a lot of time into our books. You know, I day and night in them, and I believe, you know, you've read my first book. I believe in being able to tell a story not only visually but verbally as well. You know, so the dialogue, you get what you need out of the dialogue. But even if you could not read, you could enjoy the listener. I promise you.
Exactly.
I promise.
And I'm gonna say also that if you have the type of imagination that I do, if you just read the script, you'd probably still get a very good visual of what's going down.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know what's funny? The only thing you might not get if you could only read the script, well, because of the way I write it, you get it. But
yeah,
all our splash pages, we will never put words on our splash pages. I have a such respect for Eric Viola, our interior artist, that when he does a splash page, guys, it's 2 pages. I want you to get all the art. That's what you're supposed to get on those pages, in my opinion. I don't think you need, you know, sound effects. I don't think you need people talking. If we'll use an example, if somebody's getting, you know, their wig chopped a little bit, I want you to be able to see the whole wig chopping. You know, I'm not trying to take away from those magical moments. But like I said, we've got the game coming out. The game will have its own Kickstarter in the next couple months. The second book will be out in about 6 months. So that book in particular, you don't have to read The Listener to enjoy that book. It's a standalone book. It's a different type of art style, you know, different art team altogether, like I mentioned. And it's from the perspective of a 10-year-old kid. It's like a buddy cop comedy. It's going to be a lot of fun in the same world as The Listener. Going to be just as scary, just as gory, but you know it's going to be between the dialogue of a 10-year-old kid and his monster under the bed. So I'm really excited about that because we've all had it. You know, as kids, we all had nightmares. We all had thoughts something was in the dark at one point in time or another. Well, if the thing in the dark is eating the other shit in the dark, it ain't so bad. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. We've got so much in store for you guys, like so much in store. I mean, with the second book, When Winds Weep, dropping on the 15th, we'll have our marketing team, Inked, will be there. Like I said, we'll also be doing Comic Camaraderie. We're going to blast off. That'll be the first time we do the show, Kevin and I. Very excited about that. Both of us are really into it. We're putting everything we've got into this show. And we'll be bringing cool guests on, and we'll be talking about all kinds of shenanigans. The Listener will be on there a lot. You know, there's always going to be cool people. I'll be bringing my art team on there, you know, from each of my books. You know, those guys will be hanging out. One thing I forgot to mention, or maybe I did, I don't remember. The February 15th for the launch party, we have several members of our team that'll be on there playing Road to Sin with, you know, everybody there. So I'm really excited about that. One key point to Road to Sin that somebody said I couldn't do, and I had to do it because they said I couldn't, is I wrote it to coincide with the Listener comic book. So whenever I put out a new campaign for the game, it will tie into the time period of the book when the book drops. Because one thing that I hated as a kid, and I still hate to this day, because I love comic books, there are characters you want to read more about, right? And you just don't get to see them. You know, they're like, they've disappeared off the map for however long or whatever have you. The cool thing about the Road to Sin campaigns is they will tie in characters that you may not get to see for a little while. It fills the gap of information. Like we introduced Lee in the first book. She's a young Chinese girl who becomes a very important part of our series. She will actually be the quote unquote quest giver in the Road to Sin, but she'll be a 60-year-old woman in the Road to Sin. You know, so very excited to be able to take you guys. Yeah, man. Well, you know, it's like Bill and I talked recently about the fact that like time and death hold no like sway over our series. You know what I mean? They're not relevant because once we introduce the 4 horsemen, we're about to introduce the 7 deadly sins. You know, there are all kinds of things that we're bringing in with theology that are going to, you know, break the mold. So I'm really excited. And I appreciate you guys having me on to BS with you and talk to you. And, you know,
it's like you guys doing me a favor because I had to juggle scheduling. You know, the guy who was supposed to be in your spot that's coming out later, Sean, he hit me up the other day. He's like, man, I double booked.
Oh, no.
I was like, can you come out later? And he's like, yeah, it's all right. Then we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. You know.
There you go. There you go.
Come out later. And then Kevin's like, oh, I got Dustin. I was, okay, I'm good. You know.
For sure. For sure. Well, I got a couple more shout outs real quick. Like I said, I want to thank Inked Magazine or Inked Marketing, Inked Magazine. We need a magazine. Inked Marketing, you know, and everything they've done for us. And I also want to thank, you know, Kevin for helping me build Comic Camaraderie. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I don't have that one loaded.
You're all right. I'm also, you know, very thankful to the guys at Swords and Solace for letting us be a part of their, you know, their future. You know, it's very cool of them for putting out our book with theirs. And I'm more than happy, cannot wait to put their stuff in there with ours. And it's just been such an experience. you know, to have all these wonderful people work with us. And I got to thank you yourself personally, not even, you know, the madness, but you for introducing me to an amazing human being that is my interior guy for a book. I mean, I can't even, you know, wow. Man, Soto's a monster, man. You're going to see some of Soto's work in the new book coming out. And that's before we even get into the secondary series and whatnot, man. So it's very exciting. Yeah, hail Crom, baby.
That's Manny's art right there. He did that.
Man, he's a monster, man. He came up with a couple designs, and we're actually using those. We ran with them. You know, he was like, "Hey, do you want to use these?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
See, he does that to me all the time. He's like, he'll just send me something out of the blue. Here you go, you know, and it'll be a little Crom, or him and Edwin both. Edwin Badillo, they both send me little Croms all the time, you know, and
that's funny.
You know, there's stuff just to use, you know.
Well, you're gonna really like our Monster Under the Bed character design. I think you'll get a kick out of it because it's real reminiscent of things that you're interested in. So. We're having a lot of fun. We just introduced our big bad. We haven't shown full images though, so that's fair. We've talked about it. We've shown a few little snippets. So we're excited that that's going through. Everybody's like, "Where's Sonny at?" You know, because I don't know why everybody falls in love with the bad guy, but that seems to be what's happening right now.
So I have to ask you real quick. Do you know the Lords of the Cosmos?
You know, I just saw that beautiful banner that you did.
You did see that, huh?
I saw the beautiful banner. I'm not very familiar with the book, but I saw that beautiful banner.
Jason Lennox.
How's it going, Pops?
Lords of the Cosmos, right there, man.
That's a dope-ass name, isn't it?
Jason, Dustin, Jason.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. I always feel like we're on the Brady Bunch with these things, right? Like, let me look up at you.
Right.
I'm doing good, man. Hey, Dustin. Hey, Pops.
Hey, you know, what we do is networking and promotion. I like everybody to meet each other because you never know what's going to happen. Just like he's talking about, you know, he said something a while back about something. I said, "Oh, you got to meet my friend Manny," and
that's all it took.
Like, they got stuff going on I don't even know about.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I met Pops through my buddy Adam Fields, and in turn, I met Manny through Pops. I met Kevin through Pops. It's been
networking, Jason. That's what we do in the madness, man. We want everybody to, you know, like it's encouraged. You promote. Meet other people that are doing cool stuff, and you never know what can happen. I mean,
I believe in it. I believe that there's tracks, there's cycles of people, and like you never know that who that person you're going to meet could lead to the next big thing you do. So that's always cool.
Absolutely, so Dustin, I believe that
100%. Dustin, if we just like keep rolling after 10, come back out if you want.
Yeah, man, I'll swing by. I've got a few pages I need to put together, but yeah, I'll be on, brother.
Cool.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, talk to you, bro.
Take it easy.
Take care.
All right. Everything I do is just way too much fun.
Pops, you look like a modern Gandalf with that hat. I love it.
Actually, it's my freewheeling Franklin hat, man.
Nice.
You know, I don't know if you catch the reference. Do you catch the reference?
I don't. Help me out here.
Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers.
Okay.
Freewheeling Franklin, not Fat Freddy, but Freewheeling Franklin.
Nice.
You got to go way back to the Underground Comics days for those.
Okay.
You know, wow. Just there's a whole bunch of amazing stuff. Rip-off press, you know, all kinds of stuff. Beds and heads, whole bunch of stuff like that back in the day. Dealer McDope in the 70s. That's when all that Freak Brothers stuff come out.
Dealer McDope.
Freewheeling Franklin's like kind of been my hero for, you know, like decades. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little rundown on Lords of the Cosmos while I try to figure out how to pull this up.
So I have always had a love affair with my 80s cartoons, my 80s toys, my 80s comic books. And about 5 years ago, I linked up with two writers, and we started to talk about what if we made a comic that was in the same theme and flavor of things that we like He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, Thundar the Barbarian, Filmation cartoons like Black Star, and the Flash Gordon, Tarzan cartoons from like the early 80s, late 70s, and just to bring that feel and flavor to a book. And so, yeah, look at that, right? Like doing good, 63.49. And we just started a jam together for a couple months. And then we started to put together what became Lords of the Cosmos 1, and this is the 4th issue. So we've been knocking at about one every year since 2016. Give or take, and it's been a lot of fun. So if you like looking at your toy catalogs in the 80s and going to KB Toys and going to watch cartoons after school, there's a lot of flavor in here that you're going to recognize. Kind of the big gimmicky toy, kind of centric, over the top characters. A little bit of science fiction, a little bit of magic, talking animals, robots. There's magic, there's technology. That's what it is. So I mean, if any of that stuff tickles your funny bone, then this is a good book for you.
I'm like a big guy on the pitch. Okay, so it's a little bit of a different pitch. Do you like planet destroying cybernetic mutant death calls? Do you cheer when the humans are transformed into acid spewing mech spiders? Do you enjoy a good psychotic talking sword every now and then? Do you love World War II battles but wish there were more giant war turtles? Of course you do, or you wouldn't be listening. I love it.
Yeah, and all that stuff's in the issue. It's all in there.
See, now I'm big on the pitch. I think the elevator pitch, especially now in the age of virtual promotion and virtual sales, that is so important to be catchy, to say something that people like go, oh, and now they're listening. You got to have something, as Mike Barron would say, that reaches out and grabs them by the throat. But I mean, that's a different, I like it. It's a different approach to the elevator pitch. I like it a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Pops. No, we had our promotional video on Backer Paws the other week, and it was funny because I Backer Paws was interesting, and I sat and watched the whole show. And I got to be honest, I found a lot of the pitches and videos to be very boring. They were very long. A lot of people just kind of talking and filibustering. Our video for this is 46 seconds, and it's just boom, 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 boom. And it was funny because the one fellow that was doing the pause section said, "I get this. There's nothing else to say." So I mean, you got to do it real quick, not some 7-minute talk.
Actually, Rob and those guys are great over there. Okay, and it doesn't matter who they bring on as a guest to help with the show. It's always really informative. We did a whole con that was a whole day of 15-minute spots where everybody came out and did their elevator pitch.
Yeah,
we called it the elevator pitch con. And
yeah.
It was like you come out, you introduce yourself, you talk about yourself for a minute, then you give us your pitch and tell us where to go find it. That was it. You didn't have, it was like, because I only wanted to do one day. It was December. Everybody's shopping, everybody's whatever. Nobody's got time for the whole weekend to sit in this chair all weekend. So I was like, we're going to do one day. We're going to rush through everybody's stuff. And some people were so prepared and so ready for it, and then there were other people that were like, didn't have any idea.
No, but his show, it reminded me of the Gong Show, but with Kickstarter videos, and I was kind of struck by some of the videos, just because there was a few that seemed like they had it together, but a lot of them were so boring. And then the people were doing the hey pause, and because we made this, I was like totally into it. Then I was like, I wonder what they're gonna say. The only comment was, "I get this guy. He got it." And I was like, okay, great.
How you doing, Jim? Jim O'Reilly,
Hi, Jim.
fellow artist. fellow artist for you guys, not for me. Don't get me wrong, I ain't no artist. So let's go ahead and watch this video
Give it a watch.
real quick and see what we got here.
That's it. It's quick cuts, fast, a lot of imagery. You don't even need to speak English really well to enjoy it, right? You can just kind of watch it. But to me, that's what a promotional video should be. Just fast, gives you the flavor, doesn't spoil anything. If you saw it and were curious, you can read more, but it's just fast.
Okay, so like for me, because one of the first large audience that I was exposed to when I started doing this was Indie Volt Radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm bringing my friends out here to promote their books to a listening audience, and they don't get to see them videos, and the music's great, but there's got to be a little narration. Like those questions that you ask, those should be asked along with that video. Somebody, a voice actor, something should be asking those questions during that video, because now the listening audience, which are, like I said, the largest audience that I go in front of, is a radio audience. You know, I mean, the largest one I've been exposed to, that my show has been exposed to, is a radio audience.
Interesting.
So they can't hear that. You know, I mean, they can't. Like they're truckers driving down the road that are listening. Okay, well, now they heard them guys talking about your book and everything, but when that video played, they got nothing.
Yeah, no, we didn't make it for radio. We made it for video. We made it for the Instagram and Twitter to be seen.
I mean, it's not like you have to, but it's like I encourage people to.
Food for thought.
Yeah, there's blind people. There's, you know, I mean, there's that still like comics, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's like you want to remember that they're like, that's a worldwide audience. Indie Volt's audience is 60, 70, 80,000 people listening at any time. You know, actually on there listening to their shows and stuff. And when I bring people on there, it's like I want them to be ready. Look, these people can't see you. It's not a visual for them. Come out here, be ready to talk about what you got going on. Make sure you're prepared to give them a visual, because they ain't getting one. That's radio. So at the same time, it kind of bled over into the videos. It was like, man, those are great, but I love the ones where somebody's narrating, or, you know, whatever. Have you ever seen the one for Florida Man?
I'm aware of Florida Man, but I've never seen the trailer for it.
Oh, the trailer's awesome. The one that Don Chin did for X-Farce. Hilarious. You don't even have to see it. Just listening to it. Hilarious. You're hooked. You know what I mean? It's like those kind of extra kicks. You know? I mean, it's just the things that, as myself, not knowing anything about any of this a year ago, I was not a podcaster. I was not doing cons. I was not doing any of this. Buddy of mine turned me into a comic book character. Here I am. You know, it's like I started helping him promote his book and stuff, and then I built this little comic-related madness Facebook group. 400 or 500 people in it when COVID hit and everybody's cons went down and everybody's summer hopes were dashed. And it's like, what can I do to help my friends? I started doing CromCon, you know, giving them a place to come showcase what they had going on. And a reason not to stop doing what they were doing. There's other people doing it too. I ain't the only one, you know. I mean, I wanted to help my friends, you know. So
it's good. It's good to think about. Thank you.
Well, I mean, look, all my life, people like you have given me a lifetime of entertainment. I give a little bit back. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, not only that, but I have a blast. I get to meet all you guys. Come on, if you go to a con and you stand in line and you get 30 seconds with the guy you went paid money to go talk to,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's like I get to come out here and talk to him for 30 minutes and actually build up a friendship with people.
Right.
You know, like Mike Barron's been on, I think, 9 of the 11 CromCons. You know,
Okay.
I mean, we're friends. He got my phone number. I got his. We talk to each other. You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
because of this, not because of anything else, because I started doing this. You know, it's like I've made so many great friends that I never got to be just going to a con. You know, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this has been amazing for me. So for me, it's fun. I'll keep doing it until you guys quit coming out.
All right.
It's just how it is, you know. So issue 4,
Right.
which means now I'm assuming we can still get all 4 issues, right?
Oh, yep. Yep. They're there. They're there as tiers. So you can get all of them as PDFs for 15 or the physical books for 35 for all 4.
Cool. That's a good deal too. All 4 for 35. Sweet. So who all's involved in this? Is this all you? Who all do we got involved?
So we've always had extra artists work on these things. I've been doing the main story for issues 1 to 4. So in this book, Sasha Chiardo did The Hunger, and he's from Italy. He is a wonderful artist that we connected with to do that job. And I did the main story. My friend Joe Freistuhler from Ohio, from the Cleveland area, he did Last of My Kind, which is, if you keep scrolling down, you can see one of his pages there. Really clean, classic line work. And then Zach Bruner is an artist that he's from New England, and he just moved, but he did I Am the Sword of Aegis, which is a little 4-page story in there that I did the little splash credits page for. So that's one of his pages. So there was 4 artists that did 4 stories for the book. So the book is 40 pages in length. So, and then we had a variety of people do the covers. I did 2 covers. And then we had 4 variant covers beyond that. So if you want to scroll down, we can check out the covers. So that's one of the covers that I did. That's Mordanix. He's our cybernetic acid tank spider character, right? He's got 6 mechanical appendages and then 2 sort of human arms left, right? And then there's our biomancy wizard, his talking cat and his talking bird, right? So they're all there. That's my other main cover. And then the other ones are variants. So that one, Alex J did. He's a digital, they're a digital painter. So that's based on the story Hunger from the new book, where the heroes are using their giant turtle battleship and crocodile landing crafts to land werewolves and mechs on a beach. So it's a little bit like Saving Private Ryan.
Nice.
Matt Triano did this cover for us. He's a really talented artist that I consider a friend that I've known over the years. He did that cover for us. So that's a little glimpse of the backstory of Aegis and the death of his brother, right? So that's from the I Am the Sword of Aegis story. It's a little glimpse into that story.
Is everybody catching all the blood dripping in this?
A lot of blood.
We got some blood dripping up here. We got some blood dripping down here, down here. Got
Yeah.
blood drops everywhere. Yep. I just, you know, I like the shit. Oh, that's nice too. Look at
So
that.
Joe did that cover based on his story, and he went for like an old school Marvel DC look. So he did the retro Lords of the Cosmos cover. He even has like the distressed edges in the book there, if you see it. Right. Pretty slick. So the last cover. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just checking out. I'm like, it's very, yeah, I like it. Even, yeah, like you said, even the staple lines and
Yeah. And then the last book, or the last cover, is an artist that I saw his work, and I reached out. I said, I love your work. And he did a cover for us. His name is Willem from Ukraine. And he has a style that's a lot like Jeff Darrow. And then he did his really beefed up version of Mordanix, taking in new people to dissolve in his acid tanks. I just thought he did a killer job.
That's awesome. I love it. And I'm just a sword guy, so Just
Yep, that's the splash page that I did for I'm the Sword of Ages. We just put that on over the weekend as a tier. I forgot it wasn't a reward, and I always put all the original art that I do on the campaigns as a reward, but I forgot that one, so I just plunked it up there the other day. So forgot. That's a pin up from the inside back cover of the sketch cover, because in the back of every book we've done, we always do a toy, like a front and back box of a toy. But on the sketch cover, it's white wraparound. So my friend Mama Samedi made that cover. Her real name is Jane Baker, but everyone calls her Mama. But she did that cover of a Prism, one of the heroes. So if you buy the sketch cover, that's the inside back cover. Kind of looks like a 70s poster, right?
yeah,
Ooh,
I like
the
it.
Twin Sons, right?
Got that elf press look to it.
Yeah, it does.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, so we're going to announce our $7,000 stretch goal tomorrow. I put it up here the other day. So my buddy Ariel from Los Angeles, he is a trippy kind of 70s Jack Kirby kind of artist, and if we hit 7,000, he's going to do a piece of art for every physical backer. Not for every single one, but like a piece that everyone will get a print. We might add it as an extra cover, but he is a trippy, really cosmic artist, so he fits in with Lords of the Cosmos. So if we hit 7,000, he's going to do a piece for us.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I love those kind of things, man. It's like, how many backers do you got on this?
I think 175. We've done really well.
Okay, well, you should tell everybody if you get to 200, you're gonna throw the original art from that print in somebody's package randomly.
I like what you're thinking, Pops.
Ooh, see, I'm a backer. See, I'm a backer guy. I think the backer number is way more important than the dollar number.
Yeah.
Because without the backers, they don't bring no dollars.
No, it's interesting because if you look at the numerical metrics of Kickstarters, there's some with not a lot of backers, but a lot of dollars. And is it just 2 or 3 people giving a lot of money? I mean, you want both. You want to have a healthy amount of both. But this is the most backers I've ever had in a book. The most I've had before was 154.
Nice.
So we're already 21 over that. I'd like to see over 200. I think that's a fun idea to put something in a random package. I like that, Pops.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's not my idea. I ain't gonna but it's a great idea.
No, I like it.
Especially to pull in more backers, you know. If somebody really I mean, when you get this to the 7,000, which you're not that far from, you got 13 days, you're gonna get that, no problem, right? When you get there and people see that print, you show off, hey, here's the print that dude did. Then you get to go, we get a few more backers. The original piece is going in somebody's packer kit. Oh, and then they go crazy. Bing, 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 bing. You get to that 200 backer mark real quick. I've done it for a few different. I've even given away my own stuff to help people get more backers for the campaigns. I go out there and say, hey man, if we get 80 backers up, you know, whatever somebody needs, you know, it's like add 10, add 20 to it or whatever. It's like we get there, I'll give away something, you know, and I do. It's like, I don't care. I want everybody to succeed. I think that says that somewhere in my group description.
Yeah, man, you're a thanks, Jim. Jeez, thanks. Yeah, no, I you know, Pops, you're a cheerleader, man. Without the pom poms, right? I appreciate that.
I just love, you know, the whole what I call the indie street. You know, I love the indies, man. It's like, it's not saying my roots don't go to Marvel and everything else, but I love what everybody's doing right now. That's not restricted. Basically,
Yeah, it's changed. It's changed so much with the crowdfunding and the technology for small independent people to print high quality books. That the divide between a large publisher and what would be a boutique publisher, which would be people such as myself, I think it's gotten a lot closer than it was, you know, in the 80s, where if you were self-publishing, it was pretty rough. The quality was sort of, you know. So a guy making a couple hundred books can put out a good product at a fair price that doesn't stick out because of, oh, this looks like he and his wife like folded stuff with a stapler. And I think that degrades from the experience of the reader. They want a quality book.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a collector, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
If you can see,
I can see.
You know, I'm a collector.
I can see.
Okay, so fulfillment is definitely key. Okay, how it gets here, you know, the condition it's in. I mean, all that means a lot to me, but I still read them all.
Mm-hmm.
If I buy it and it ends up in my collection, I read it. It's like, so I'm gonna be able to, like, especially one of my favorite things is meeting somebody and finding out that they're involved in a book I didn't know they were involved in. Because now I'm digging in my collection. Oh, yeah, I got that. You know, it's like I'll be looking for their stuff now. Credit pages didn't mean anything to me a year ago.
Now you're watching.
Now I look for everything. I want to know everybody who's involved in the book. Where before it was like, I just read the book. I looked at the art. I read the book. I didn't pay that much attention, you know. I did in the novels. Okay, you know, I know who wrote every novel that I've written, and the Frank Herberts and all. I know all them guys. But when it came to comics, I didn't pay that much attention to who the writer was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now when I met Mike Barron last year, and he's like, "Oh, Punisher and this and that," and it was, I'm digging in my collection now. I'm looking for stuff. I'm looking for Badger. I'm looking for Nexus. I'm looking for all the stuff that Mike Barron wrote that I didn't know Mike Barron wrote. You know?
Yeah. No. I think probably the person with the biggest shadow in Lords of the Cosmos is our letterer, Dave. Dave does a lot of work for Green Lantern and some of the DC books.
Right.
And he is just a friend that lives sort of close to me. And Dave has always made time to letter my books. So I'm always proud of Dave being involved with the book, because Dave's worked with a lot of big people in his role as a letterer. He's a great letterer. But yeah, he's probably the most named person that's on our books. Bob Hack, that does work for Archie and Sabrina, he did a pinup for us in issue 2.
There you go.
Bob's a friend. He was kind enough to knock out a little piece we used for the inside cover in issue 2. So we've had some pretty cool people involved with Lords of the Cosmos, but Dave and Bob stick out as the ones that you'd be like, oh yeah. Bill McKay do you know Bill McKay? He does a lot of stuff. Yeah, Bill did a variant cover for us for issue 2.
Yeah, I think Bill's in the madness. If he's not, he's definitely on my friends list. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've been lucky enough to have some pretty cool people that I think are pretty well known in these circles work on the book. So
yeah, I mean, and like I said, it looks amazing. And Jim O'Reilly likes it, and Jim O'Reilly likes everybody's art except his own.
Isn't that the truth? You always hate your own stuff, right? Thank you, Jim.
And it's like his stuff is amazing, and he's just like always down on himself, because you know I understand it. Just a few times that I've drawn something, it's like I want to keep picking it up and trying to fix it and make it better. And it's like, if I was really good at art, I'd drive myself nuts.
I think I heard someone say once that no artist actually ever stops working on something. They just quit and walk away, because what you're describing with Jim, I think it's pretty typical, where you see all the errors and flaws in your own work, and there is this bizarre temptation to go back and fix things, that you have to hit a point where you stop, because you will go crazy if you keep trying to go back and fix every old sin you see, because you know your work better than anybody else. It's you have to respect doing edits, but at some point you have to be able to just say I'm done and just accept it, because it can drive you really batty.
Yeah, I had to just like get to a point. Okay, put it in a frame, leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in a frame, and I can't mess with it no more, right? You know, so I put him in a frame and I leave him alone. And yeah, there's flaws, like lots and lots of flaws. Every time I look at him, I'm like, oh man, I can fix that, but I ain't pulling him. I'll leave him in the frame for a minute. You know, Jim's stuff's amazing, too, without a doubt. He's I have a whole bunch of prints and stuff that he's done, and he's doing the art for the origin story for Mojo Risen, and just he's got all kinds of stuff going on that he's involved in too that he probably won't tell anybody about until it's game time,
Mhm.
But go ahead and tell everybody again real quick where they can find you, where they can find your stuff. And
Yeah.
of course, he's in the madness, y'all, just so you know.
So the easiest way to find me is probably through Instagram and Twitter. I'm just at Lenox Artist, Lenox Artist. I have my Kickstarter pinned up. Well, you can't pin on Instagram, but it's all over there, and it's pinned on my Twitter page. My Facebook is Jason Lennox Illustrator on Facebook, and then my website is jasonlennox.com. And if you're feeling like taking a walk on the wild side, visit my Etsy store. I'm Lennox Art Emporium on Etsy. And the Kickstarter is just Lords of the Cosmos 4 on Kickstarter. I have it pinned on my website on the front page. And like I said, it's tagged up all over my social media. But if you can use Google, which everyone can, including my kids, just Lords of the Cosmos 4 Kickstarter, it'll pop up. And, just look on Pop's page. I'm always throwing stuff on there for it too. So easy to find.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if anybody usually, if you can't remember their name or whatever, go look in the madness. You'll find them in the madness. It's there.
Yeah, easy to find. Thank you, Pops.
Hey, you bet. It was great meeting you. CromCon 11, 8 spots left. Just saying.
Hey, send me the information to be in it. If I can do it, I'm in.
The sign-up sheet is right at the top of the group in the announcements, pinned to the top of the announcements in the group.
Okay.
Just drop a comment. I'll get it to you as soon as the show's over. Lock you in. No problem.
Sounds good. I'll go check it out as soon as we get off.
All right.
All right. Pops, be well. Thank you.
Good seeing you, man.
You too.
And next, oh my God, next, I've met this man before. And we had a good time talking, if I remember correctly. And he sent me a message just a little while back, and he said, he said to me, you need to come check this out. You're really going to like this, Pops. And so I had to go, check it out. And David and Goliath? David and Goliath, really?
What's up, Pops? What's up?
How you doing? Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and all your people, sir?
All right. So, hey, everybody. It's Brandon Hollingsworth. I'm back from the Brainy Pixel Productions team, and I've brought some of my best friends with me, the Mercy Way Studios team. I got Ernesto over there, and I got Ivan down there. And introduce yourself, guys.
Go ahead, Ivan.
Well, I'm Ivan. I'm really glad to talk about comics here, so thank you.
That's short and sweet. I'm Ivan. I love comics. Yeah.
They're real subtle.
Yeah, at the beginning, when we get comfortable, you won't stop us. I'm Ernesto, by the way. Nice to meet you guys. Really happy to be here.
Hey, it's great to see you, man.
I brought something for you, Pops. I talked about it last time, but here we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what
you look good, man.
Hey, get in the spirit of the show, baby.
This is my hat. When I go out, this is my hat, man. So as soon as I saw Pops with that hat, I'm like, this guy's got it going on. He's my kind of guy.
Hey, you should have seen me the other day. It was snowing really bad, so we took the kids and we bundled them all in the car, and we went to the big hill to sled and tube down the big hill, right? And it was snowing really bad. I'm out there with my black trench coat, my hat. I'm all wrapped up in scarves and stuff, and everybody's like, "What's up with that?" I was just sliding down that hill. I didn't care, man. But it's 57 years old, man. Old trench coat. Boing, boing.
That's 57 years young, Pops. Not 57 years old.
Yeah, I was having a blast. The grandkids were having a blast. It was like. And it was the youngest one that talked me into it. He's like, "You gonna come with us, Grandpa?" And I'm just like, "Oh my God, I can feel how I'm gonna feel tomorrow." I already know. I mean, I didn't know what the hills are like. The hills when I was a kid, you had jumps at the bottom, and I mean, this was a really nice, smooth hill, so it was all right. But when I was a kid, man, we were crazy. We'd set up ramps at the bottom where you went flying 30 or 40 feet and
jumping over people's heads
from your tube.
Absolutely. That's the way you got to do it, man. That's the way you got to do it.
Yeah.
Well, Pops, I'm super happy to be back on the Madness, and I brought a couple of friends with me. So Mercy Way Studios, they're actually a comic studio out of El Salvador, and I ran into these guys online and was just blown away by the work that they were producing. And so Brainy Pixel and Mercy Way Studios, we've actually teamed up for this new book that's coming out. It's actually a series of books. And I'd love it if the Mercy Ways guys will talk about it a little bit. I've got some art I can kind of show if you'll let me share my screen. And Ivan or Ernesto, whoever you guys talk as I show some art.
All right. Pop it up there. I'll put it up there for you.
No pressure.
Well, go ahead, the artist.
Oh, okay. Well, we're Mercy Way Studio. We're in Central America, just in the middle of the Americas. So we're in El Salvador, and actually we do comics for our studio. And like you say, we want to share with you a story that we are making about David and Goliath. Like you can see now, this is part of the
Amazing. I don't want you blocked out. Let me figure this out. Keep talking.
Well, actually, we're sharing right now like how the comic looked like, and you can see there's David, and one of the things that we want to do is not making the same story that everyone knows, because everyone knows this story. Everyone's just referring, and or many media already drink from David and Goliath. So what we're going to do is we're trying to make a fresh approach to the story, a fresh approach from the art, and actually a fresh approach from the Bible itself. We don't going to change the Bible story, but we're going to investigate more about what else happens that is actually not in the Bible.
Right,
so
right.
That's the things that we want to do. So I want to Ernesto to tell a lot about the process, because the process to making this comic is actually a lot of our background, a lot of movies that we love. So Ernesto, go ahead.
Yeah, so all right, Pops. Should I call you Pops? Is that all right?
Pops is what it is, man.
Love it. So the process, as you can see, is a comic. It's a high quality comic. Ivan, it's our artist. He's really good at it, as you can see. So the idea, as Ivan mentioned, was that we wanted to put on people's hand and a story that really attracts them, a story that is really appealing and make you relate to the characters, specifically with David. So we had a little talk and we say, okay, how we want to depict David, because everybody knows David. Oh, the King David, the hero, the guy, but it's actually David in his latest years, as a king already, telling the story to his son Solomon. But we also going to see a David that is not only a hero, but is also a human being that makes mistakes, and he knows how to approach the heart of God. And that's why, as Brandon said earlier today, everybody knows that in the Bible says that David is someone that is after the heart of God. So part of that, we want to make a human in that. And we took an example of some of our favorite characters in different movies. One of my favorites is Marty McFly from Back to the Future.
Right,
so that's it. He was an inspiration for David too. We got characters and inspiration from characters out of the Mandalorian, Star Wars story, the Lord of the Rings, and all that. So we put it together and we said, this is the David that we want to show, because that's how I imagine David. That's how I see David. That's how I see a father, a David being a father, and explaining everything to his son Solomon. So that's how we put together the story. It's right now we're about to present or launch the number 0. Comic number 0, but it's going to be a series about David. It's going to be at least 4 at least 4 volumes, right? And each volume is going to have 3 or 4 comics that we want to show the entire life of David. So
Now,
that's
see, that's so cool. I don't know. I think I talked to Brandon about this before, but when I was a kid, I played David in a church play.
you did.
I did.
I can see you doing that. I can see you doing that.
dodge Saul's sword and all that. Okay, and they had made the sword like out of cardboard and tinfoil, right? The other kid threw it at me, and I had to dodge out the way. But I mean, his whole life, okay, the whole, from youth to King David, I got to play that part. So when Brandon hit me up, he's like, "You're gonna love this, Pops." I knew he remembered that I told him the story.
Yeah,
that's nice.
And that's really what the guys at Mercy Ways are doing, Pops. They're kind of doing the same thing that an actor, would do when they go to play a part like David. Is they're really taking that character apart, right? They're kind of getting into the headspace of that character. Of course, they start with the Bible, right? And we don't want to contradict Scripture ever. That's critical for us as Christians. And so we start with the Bible, and then we're looking at other historical sources, right? So we're looking at, Josephus's histories. We're looking at the Talmud. We're doing all the research in all the books of the Bible that touch David's stories. So, First and Second Kings and Chronicles and Acts, and we're touching all those books. But then they're going through this entire process of they're thinking about, let's take apart the character of David that we know, right? We know him from Scripture, and let's decompose that character and let's think about, how did he get to that man that we see in Scripture? What sort of qualities might he have had as a kid? Well, I mean, you look at David, and he's probably going to be adventurous, right? As a kid, which is going to be, when you're a kid, you're going to get into some trouble, right? You're going to be doing some things maybe you shouldn't do. And one of the really important messages that we've got with the Chronicles of Faith is that we're not setting David up as a moral template, right? Because we all know, if you've read Scripture, that David, he had his moral failings, right? He messed up. But what David is he was a great faith model. So God called David a man after his own heart. It was because David knew that even when he messed up, he would have to repent for that, and he would have to go to God and ask forgiveness. And that is why God said, hey, this guy is the kind of guy that I want you to model, not for his mess ups, but for his repenting. And so that's kind of at the core of this first 4 books that we're working on with Mercy Ways, is we want to tell that whole story of that progression from shepherd to what is it, Ivan? It's shepherd. I forget the process. What is it? Shepherd to.
Well, actually, there's
shepherd, the hero.
It's from shepherd to hero, because after he defeated Goliath, he became the Israel hero. Until today,
he is a national hero.
Right. He's a national hero. And from warrior, because after he became a warrior, and from warrior to king, and after the king, when he was in the top, he realized he's a man. He just flawed like every other man. So we want to share that stuff. And actually, the story of David,
and a father, of course,
and a father. The father idea is is a line that goes under everything, because the approach that we want to sell is this is so personal that is David telling his own story to Solomon. It's just Solomon say, Father, everyone is here. You defeat Goliath. So tell me everything else. What else happened?
Tell me what else.
So, tell me everything, because everyone call you like the big warrior, like everyone, but I just hear that you defeat Goliath. So one of the things that we understand that David is the classic underdog story. You start from the bottom and you go to the top. But the difference between David and the other story is who put David on the top. That's God. Is God realizing who realized that David had a heart, that it was humble, that it was actually one of the most fascinating stories that we find outside the Bible, is that David was, even if he was a king, he was not a ceremonial king. He hated the robes of the king. He just sit with the people in the floor. He just teach the Torah in the floor with everyone. So we love that idea. Like, actually, it's so close to Jesus that we really say, like, you know what? David is a figure for Jesus. So we really love that idea.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it too. As soon as he hit me up and told me, "You're gonna love this," and then when I seen it, I was like, "Man."
yeah, and I think that story, you know, Pops, with you being a father and a grandfather, I think this story is really going to resonate with you and with guys that are our age. Pops and I are about the same age. We're old guys, and
You're not old, guys. You're good.
oh yeah, we are. Aren't
You're
we,
good,
Pops?
man. You're good.
We're young at heart, but anyway. But one of the things that really grabbed me about this story, you know, initially it was the art, no doubt about it. I saw Ivan's art. I saw these beautiful colors. I saw this amazing line work in this comic and this beautiful scripted text that's in there. But then as I got a chance to read more of the story, there's this thing that happens where you realize that the way the story is presented is so different than any other David story you've ever read, any other David comic you've ever read, any other David-based movie you've ever seen. And that's something it's a real piece of genius that the Mercy Ways guys came up with, in that these books, the first 4 books, are actually David as a king telling stories of his youth to his son Solomon. And so there's this really cool thing of a father passing on wisdom to a son. And you know how important that is, you know, being a dad, being a granddad. And it's our hope and it's our prayer that parents will be able to use this comic as a tool to teach their kids lessons about God and about morality and about things you should do and shouldn't do, things you should look out for, traps that are out there. You know, David fell into a lot of those traps, so we can use those as teaching moments as parents. And we hope that the kids will be engaged, because the way this comic looks is just amazing.
We always picture like a father is just sitting in the bed with this child and reading this comic to them to sleep. That's the picture that Ernesto and I have when we were talking about this story. Just this is a bedtime story, and it's an all-day story. But that moment when you can share with your kids, that's something that we really hope that and praying that this is come true.
Yep, it's like you. Usually, when you're putting them to bed, you want to give them a little bit of something uplifting. I mean, the monsters under the bed stories are great, but probably not.
They're not gonna help.
And you know, we do have. That's the wonderful thing about the group. We have so many different genres of everybody doing everything, and it's like, I love it that you guys come out here and show us what you got going on too, because it makes sure everybody understands that it's not a that end and that end of the spectrum. The spectrum is in the middle, and it branches out in every direction.
Right.
People
Absolutely.
need to understand that it goes out just like the light goes out from a sun in every direction. Spectrums are not linear.
Right. That's exactly right. And I think the medium of comics is powerful enough to handle all those different stories. You know, that's one of the unique things about comics, is that as long as you can tell a good story, right? Sometimes the art doesn't even have to be great. As long as you can tell a good story, you can make a comic. You know, I mean, you know, there's some comics out there that something that I would draw that probably wouldn't be anything anybody want to look at. But if it's enough if that story is there, it's going to catch you. So, and we pray that's the way our comics are.
And it's a story that everybody can relate to. You know, I mean, I can see you read playing David, and you can tell your kids when they went to bed, oh, you know, I played this guy right here. You know,
I played this guy in the play.
This was me. The Stone, I was the best at it.
You know, it was really amazing too, because the lady who was like, I don't want to say the director of the play, but the lady that put it all together and kept all these kids in line and got us all to remember our lines and everything. She gave the king, David, the sword to throw at me, which was the prop sword. You know, the made up, you know, the cardboard and tinfoil one, because he was throwing it at me, right? So she gives him, but she gave me a real sword to put on my waist and carry around during the play, you know, during the warrior part of David's life. I'm carrying this real sword around. I'm like 9 or 10 years old, and I'm just feeling mighty, right? You know, and I think that's where my sword affinity came from. The reason I, you know, I mean, I used to collect them, and I still have a few special ones, but you know what I'm saying? It's like that old lady probably has no idea what she did to me by letting me carry that.
Nobody
Probably
wanted to
not.
mess with the kid with the sword, huh?
Well,
Actually,
I
she
didn't just
wake
like
up the
collect them. I
warriors
wanted to
inside
learn
of
to
you.
be good with them too. You know, I wanted to learn to use them, and oh, it was
No, those are swords
She give
are
you
nice.
yeah. But she should
she
have
give
probably
you the
never
chance.
given me a sword to carry around.
Go
She
ahead,
give you the
Ivan.
chance to wake up the warrior inside of you. So
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
yes, and
And
probably
one,
a church, and probably a church stage isn't the place to do that.
nope.
I wouldn't want to have been in the first row, in the first pew. That might not have been
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, the first one, like, whoa.
Well, I mean, you know, she told me
Yo.
I can't take it out of the sheath, and you know, I mean, there
Was
was
too big.
rules, but still, I felt mighty. I was the one with the real sword, and the king over there has the fake sword.
So please tell me you didn't cut the head of Goliath in that picture.
No, I didn't think, man, the Goliath thing was like kind of weird because they had to use an adult
Oh,
play Goliath, and everybody else in the play was a little kid.
Makes sense. Makes
At
sense.
least,
sense.
at least
I
they got
mean,
the scale right.
But yeah, well, the scale was right, but it took away from the fact that these kids had all worked so hard on this, and then there's, you know,
My dad.
yeah, it's like why didn't you like pile 2 or 3 of them up and put a big robe around them,
Right.
and you know, and still let a kid be Goliath, you know?
Yeah, like when he came out, all the kids were like, "Hi, Mr. Robinson. How are you?"
Yeah,
It was like, "Shh, no, I'm Goliath."
yeah, it was distracting for the kids, you know. I mean, but it was all fun, man. I still see a lot of people don't realize, man. I remember everything from my childhood.
That's awesome.
That's
all
amazing.
the good, all the bad, you know. I mean, I remember it all, and I file it away for when those memories are needed, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, if I don't think my mom's watching. I don't know. My sister-in-law could be watching because she watches sometimes, but you know, it's like these stories are so awesome. And when something triggers that memory, you know, something triggers that childhood memory, it was like you did that to me, Brandon.
Yeah.
You did that to me.
But you know, you're making an interesting point. You know, everything from your childhood, all what you remember of your childhood and that event, you know, that play that you had at school and the story that you have.
Mhm.
Now imagine that we're teaching your what our kids are seeing in these days, and this story is telling a different story that maybe a father knowledge that a father can pass on to his son and can remember the story the same way you do, those values, those ideas and principles for life that are really for life. Now you like swords. See what I mean? that bad it is. You still have swords, right?
And I like old Bible stories too. You know,
Say,
exactly.
There's some great stories in the Bible. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Everything you could possibly want, you can find in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I actually got to do a cover-to-cover deal with it once during a enforced vacation.
Oh, I did it too.
I don't know if
I
y'all
did that
understand enforced vacation, but that's when they put you somewhere you don't want to be and they make you stay there for a while.
You're going to go on
I get it now.
vacation.
Yeah. Enforced vacation, you know. Well, I mean,
enforced vacation.
I took that time to, you know, educate myself on all kinds of
That's
stuff.
good, man.
And that
And
kind
that
of
was
ties,
one, you know.
and that kind of ties into what inspired these guys to start this project. It's been several years ago when they started it. They can tell you exactly how many. I don't know, but the Chronicles in the Bible, the books were written because the people of Israel had forgotten all the stuff that happened back in the early Old Testament. You know, basically in the Pentateuch, those first 5 books in the Bible. And Chronicles were like, okay, guys, you forgot all this stuff. So we're going to tell you this again. So it's like, sit down, you're going to hear these stories all over again. So it's kind of like they were refreshing their remembrance of those old events. And this comic, The Chronicles of the Faith, is pretty much the same thing, except we're doing it in a modern day sense with a comic instead of, a written book in the Bible. Not to say that this is scripture, because it's not, but
Right.
what we're trying to do is take those old stories and put a fresh new spin on them and remind people of the wonderful things that God did, the triumphs and the tragedies that happened, was a part of God's people, the people of Israel, and all that history, which is real and happened. And that's kind of what this comic is it's kind of a refresh, a reset, a reboot, to use modern lingo, of the old Chronicles. So how long ago did you guys start this project, guys?
Well, maybe for 2018, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we had our first meeting, 2018.
Wow.
We had a meeting at the Starbucks. That's how all got, that's how all started. We were like, oh, let's do this. Let's do that.
At a Starbucks where?
In El Salvador.
At a Starbucks in El Salvador, y'all.
Yeah.
Get down with that. Get down with that.
How about that?
Just think about that for a minute.
Let's think about it. There.
Yeah.
Well, in that meeting with Ernesto, we talk a lot of stuff. We have like many ideas, and we start to working in everyone. We were
there like for 5 hours, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of coffee.
A lot of coffee. I think that's what fueled it. Too much coffee. But it was nice.
That helped to build this stuff. But we have a lot of stories. But one of the things that we want to keep in the story, because we talk about sci-fi, like a Christian sci-fi story. We talk about a child story, just a little bit of Narnia and Lord of the Rings, a little bit. And we also, one of the things that we don't want to go away, because we think is important for everyone, is the Bible. So we want to tell Bible stories, and the Bible stories are epic. Like you see right now, like if you remember, one of the stories is just David fighting a giant. I don't know, it's epic in every sense that you heard it. It's just one shepherd boy from nowhere came to destroy a 3 meters giant. That's awesome.
Or the two armies, Israel versus the Philistines, and that entire. Can you imagine that in a movie?
Yeah.
Or an animated movie? That's what I meant. Gotcha. An animated movie about that, the giant, or David's valiant, who are like 300 soldiers. Yeah. Those guys could kill 200 each in a single battle.
If you love the sword paths, there's one of the valiant that fought for. He destroyed 300 Philistine, and the sword was stuck in her hand.
After fighting,
he can't take the sword away because he just keep there. So this is epic from everywhere you can hear it. It's action and everything you want to hear.
And it's our hope, Pops, is that if this series does well, and we sell some of them, and that we're able to keep on making more, that we'll continue to tell these chronicles of the faith. Go into other characters in the Bible. It doesn't have to be just David. I mean, it can be Solomon. It can be Samson. It can be Jesus. I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of characters in the Bible. Jael, who's an Old Testament prophet who killed this guy by ramming a tent spike into his head. I mean, you
can even go adults only and go with Mary Magdalene, man.
Good. We're missing a love story. You're right.
But one of the things that we want to share is the Chronicles of Faith is just the idea of you tell your story with God. I mean, there's a lot of faith heroes that are after the story of the Bible, after the story of Jesus, after the story of the disciples. So we can tell that it's a way to expand this, like tell about people who died because they believe and they want to share the gospel. Actually, people who died protecting Israelites from the World War II that were Christian, and they saving Jewish because all that kind of people, the Chronicles of Faith, and also is personal. You can write your own Chronicles of Faith. You can be like one of them. Like, the only thing that you have to do is trust God, and we want to share that.
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
So we're almost out of time. All y'all, give everybody again, say who you are, how we can find you. And by all means, if you are not in the madness, join the madness.
Of course.
All right.
Well, what kind of what kind of crazy to tell you that?
It's the comic. It's a Pop's comic madness. I'll send you guys a link.
Oh yes, please.
The comic-related madness.
There it is. It's a Facebook. It's a Facebook group right there. So
it's the best kept secret on Facebook. That's what it is.
It is a huge. It's a huge, great community of people who are super passionate about comics, and it's awesome. Yeah. I love being a part of it.
Yeah.
So
definitely, you're gonna receive.
So I'm Brandon, and you can find me at brainypixel.com. Also on pretty much any social media out there, I'm at Brainy Pixel, except for Instagram, where it's at Brainy Pixel Productions. And these guys are...
We're Mercy Ways Studios. We're based out of El Salvador. We're a Christian comic studio, and you can find us at mercyways.com, actually. And Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, of course, at Mercy Ways Studios. All right.
And Pops, the comic is dropping. We're releasing Chronicles of Faith, David, issue 0, 24 pages, full color, stunning art, amazing writing. Comes out the 24th of this month. You can get the English version on brainypixel.com and the Spanish version on mercyways.com. Digital only, and then we're looking into print as quickly as we can get there. So.
And one of the things that we want to
share, you got a launch party set up? You got some kind of a launch party set up for it?
Yeah, we'll send you an invite.
Okay, cool. I mean, I do those live. I come out here and tell everybody this is about to go live, and try to get that first kickoff of backers right away. So if you want to do that, just hit me up.
Okay.
Let me know.
All right, I'll talk to these guys and we'll coordinate. And Ivan, you were saying one last thing?
Yeah, I know there's a lot of comic fans hearing this, and also every comic fan has the desire to draw. So we're having an art contest right now. Then you can draw David, and your piece can become one of the variant cover for our comics. It will be exclusive, and you can have your piece, your draw, as a variant comic for our comic. So go to mercyways.com, to Brainy Pixels Instagram. There's the base for the art contest there. So please share, and we wait for your art. We want to show you there, actually.
All right. All you guys that like to do fan art, you know what's up. Draw David.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you guys. Great seeing you again, Brandon. I will see you guys again here. Yeah, get with me, man, if you want to do a launch party for it on the 24th.
All right, sounds good, Pops.
For each other, yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us on, Pops. See you
at
Madness.
Peace. And I'm ready. I haven't talked to Mr. Shinobi in a while.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. Just keeping busy.
I know how that is. So, man, you got real things go. Every time I talk to you, you're like outside the box so far when it comes to what we do. Dude, what's up? You got your own con going on. What's up?
Well, like I've always thought outside of the box, and with things the way they are, I'm like, because originally I wanted to have my bar open and have other people's comics in my bar to be like a library. And because that couldn't happen, I knew a lot of voice actors that I talked to, and I found out this new platform. It's really amazing. So unlike Zoom, it has like little virtual booths that you could click on. And once you click on, everyone that's in that table can see each other like this. So someone can have like all their stuff set up in the back. This is just my little setup for my Dragon Ball interview. So they could have all their stuff set up. And when someone's like, oh, I like that one, can I see it more? And then they could actually get a better view of it rather than just seeing a picture, and you could tell them about it.
Right.
And you can also interact with people. This is our second time running the show, and it just got bigger, and we were able to. I talked to my friends from that voice Dragon Ball Z. I was talking to Vic Mignogna. I was talking to Chuck Huber, and then that's right. I originally planned on opening up an arcade bar, so we'd have all games, and then people would, while they're waiting, be able to pick someone's indie book up from a library while they're waiting for their food and read it. And it gives people like an exposure. So it gives them an opportunity to touch the book, because I'm old school and I like to touch the book.
Right. Me
I
too.
do like the way things are, but optimally I'd like to touch the book and like flip through it. So I came up with that idea, and because we couldn't do that, we decided to go with a convention. So we have our voice actor guests coming. We have some indie comics creators that are going to be there. We have Luke Stone, Sim, Heroic Studios is going to be there. We got more coming, and if anyone's listening to this, we're always looking for more indie creators. It's free for creators, so if you have a project or you have some stuff, we'd like to bring you on, and you can promote your stuff, talk to guests, and just be a part of it.
And see, that just goes to show y'all, it ain't a competition. It ain't a competition. It's exposure for all of you. He's doing it. I'm willing to make sure to promote what he's doing, because it's for all of us. It's for everybody. You know, there's so many people that won't promote others that they feel like they're in competition with. I ain't in competition with nobody. You know, you got a con going on, I'm gonna tell everybody about it. You know, even if it's on the same freaking day as mine, I'm still gonna tell everybody. I'm not gonna be like, oh, don't go watch his show, come watch my show. You know what I mean? It's like, it ain't a competition. Go look at people's books. Come back over and look at mine. Watch the replay later. I don't freaking care. You know, as long as everybody's getting seen. Man, I love that you just took off. I mean, last time I talked to you, we're talking about your arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
Your arcade game. That's what we were talking about last time. Like, now we're talking about something just like totally different, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you blow up, man. You're like me. You jump in. Once you start something, it's like you jump in with both feet and you go. And you go. And, you know, it's like, man, I wish I was young again, dude. Now my go involves what I can do from this chair. You see what I'm saying? Man, I love your passion, dude. Just like you're one of them few people that's like, you're gonna go in and take it to the next level. There's no ceiling. I love that about you, dude. You know. So what you want me to pull something up? What do you want me to pull up?
If you could pull up the tickets so people could.
Let's see what do we got here. Because, you know, I'm still doing my best at trying not to be a rookie at this stuff.
Hell, I'm learning too every day.
What do we got? We got. Come on, share the screen. I don't need the tips every time. People, just let me share the screen. Here we go. That's what you're talking about, right? That Ottawa VCon. Now look, that's the same weekend as CromCon 12. I just want you to know.
Yeah, make sure everyone that comes check out CromCom at the same time. Multitask. You can even get up a second computer. You can be both at the same time.
I'm sitting here and I'm going, so Sim and all those guys are going to be there that weekend. Who am I going to have on my freaking show? Don't worry, we'll be fine. That's going to be a big weekend for everybody. Look, last weekend in March, you got Ottawa VCon, you got CromCon. You're going to have choices, people. Choices. I love it.
So all those prices are in Canadian, so it'd be a lot cheaper for you Americans over there. So
you got some people that are doing autograph signings,
yeah,
and you got meet and greets going on. Dude.
The meet and greets comes with a special event. So with Stephanie and Vic, you get a live concert, and with Chuck, we're doing a board game event. So you can play a board game with Chuck Huber, unless it changes.
Who's the Funko Pop of?
We have the Funko Pop from Dragon Ball Z, so people could purchase these, and if they get them on time, they could probably get it live. So the faster they buy it, and we also have a package for anyone that wants to save a bit of money. We reduced the ticket price, and we attached it on with a signature. In all signatures, we include the shipping with it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm checking that out. I'm like, I want a Funko Pop of Pops.
And for everyone that uses a ticket, we're doing signed giveaways. So this is signed by Vic Mignogna, the Galactic Toys Broly. So this is the big one. To get one of these on eBay is like $200. So you just spend like 30, I believe it's 35 American, and you could possibly win $200. We're also giving away the Funkos, the different Funkos. So for each voice actor, they could win a free Funko of the smaller one. And we also have some really cool tile art.
Yeah, I love your tile art. And when you were doing the Kickstarter before, you had all those up there. Man, I love those.
Yeah, so this one too, we'll have some more announcements soon. We're gonna be giving away some indie comics as prizes, so other creators. I bought extra copies just to promote them and our event, because like we all got to promote each other. We got to be part of the community. That's how it works. And I buy other people's stuff, and I'm like, I'm really tired of comics. They're not the same anymore. So I'm like, I'd rather support someone else's business that has the passion and that cares about me. That's not gonna block me from Facebook or Twitter because they don't like what I said.
Well, I mean, I can't help what people do. I know that all I want to do is help everybody to be successful, you know. And if people are nice to me, I will come out here and do this for them every month.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. It just be nice to me, man. You know?
I just wish more people would be like that. Just be nice. There's no reason. Like,
yeah. I mean, because I'm you know, everybody knows I've grown over the last year. Okay, I've grown a lot because I used to not care, just snap on anybody, blah, blah, blah. Grumpy old man, you know. And since I've been doing this, it's like I've learned to communicate with people. I've got a whole bunch more good friends than I've gotten, you know, blocked or whatever. You know, I mean, I'll take the good friends over the blocked all day long.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't need that kind of stress. Nobody does, man. It was a rough year on everybody. Everybody.
It was really hard for me. A lot of crazy stuff going on.
It was a rough year for I mean, that's what I mean. It was like nobody nobody had it good. We are, you know, you guys didn't have cons to go set up tables at. You didn't have your normal thing going on. You know, some people grabbed that. Some people grabbed that ring and did the best books they could come up with because they had the time and they had the drive. And they're like, I'm not going to let this get me down. And they gave us great books out the last year. Some great stuff. Really opened up the eyes of a lot of people to where the industry's going. You know, where you guys can take it without the help of the big two. You know, it's like it's all on you guys now. They made it that way. Go with it. Run with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Just get creative.
As I mean, it's like last time I was talking to you, it was like your arcade game. I'm like, is that a sturdy game? Is that thing gonna hold up? Because you know, I was like,
yeah, we got 5 of them built and ready to go. I have we're gonna be doing our special edition versions of our comic book. So I had my artist. She designed each guest that we had. Their character is in a cartoon form of the character and the actor, like kind of merged together. So we got three versions of the book with that on there, and then we got T-shirts and hoodies.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you always like you never let me say it this way. You don't half-ass nothing.
I go all in.
Yeah, you go all out. I like that. And it's like, you know, hey, you gotta go for it. No matter what it is you're doing, if you say to yourself, that might be going too far, you might be costing yourself money. Somebody might have really loved that idea and you bit it in the ass because you were like, oh, that might be going too far. No, nothing's going too far. If you conceived it and you figure out a way to make it work, put it out there for us to check it out, man. And that's what you do. As soon as you come up with an idea, you make sure that you put it out there where we can see it. You know, no matter what it is. I love your passion for what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
Without a doubt. So what's going to be next, though?
Well, what we're hoping to do is with our cabinets, we want to work with independent game creators. So because a lot of games are now virtual, and there's new companies like Limited Run that are making it so you can have a physical game. We want to make it so that people can do it with an arcade system, so they could have a physical game, and we could do all sorts of crazy things with it. We could have it made like a mini one that could fit on your table, or like a big one like in the arcades.
Well, yeah, I remember the arcade
joysticks and buttons.
You said there was like 20,000 games on that arcade game that you had?
You could fit up to 20,000 games from every system, every retro system, and it's categorized because some of them you have to go through like 5,000 or 5,000.
Big old long list, yeah.
And they're not alphabetized. I went to one guy and I'm trying to find a game. I'm like, is this thing alphabetized? No, it's in like a random order. I'm like, who would design it that way? But we have it. You could go Nintendo, Sega. Then they're all categorized.
Nice.
That's like a speed jump thing, so you could go scroll through faster. And we also have it in a mini console, so you could just you could play it. You could plug it in your TV and just play it.
Nice. See, you guys, this guy's like outside the box. He's trying to entertain on so many levels. You know, this is what it's about, man.
Yeah, and we also got the our cocktail book. So our character has her own cocktail. She's a fox spirit. So I made a blue cocktail, and it sets on fire. It has like a little lime boat. You light it on fire. So you got the flames going, and then so it's like the blue flame. So
I love it. Yeah, I remember that. You got the cocktail book. How many different drinks are in there?
There's over 50 drinks. If you signed up to my mailing list, you get the 61, and it comes with a special cover.
Nice. See that? That's what I mean. I'm telling you guys, this guy's outside the box. You got to go check out what he's doing, man. 8-bit Shinobi on Twitter. That's how I found him. That's how I found him out there in the Twitter world. And this is the first time I broadcast a show that's going to Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. First time I sent one out there to Twitter too. So, hopefully I'm reaching everybody within my reach at the moment, and the reach will keep growing. People like you help a lot, though, man. You really do. All you guys that come out to my show, you lend my show credibility. You bring your fans around. Everybody's fans bounce off each other, and hopefully it translates into somebody making some money somewhere.
Yeah, that's why I get a little bit annoyed that some people are like, yeah, you're not going to fit within our fan. And I'm like, but I bring my own fans, and like maybe some of your fans might like what I have,
Dude, you got
to fit in the box. I'll go on any show. I'll be like, if someone talks about like, I don't know, like vegan crap, I will go on that show. I'm limiting myself, because when you say, oh, I'm only gonna do this, you're putting yourself here. You never know your possibilities. That you might have that like one person on that channel that might like what you have to say, and they probably have 100 people or 600 people on their followers, and they'll be like, check this guy out. You never know. So never limit yourself.
Yep, that's what I keep saying. It's like, man, it's like you have to be all inclusive to a fan, to the fans. Now that don't mean they're all gonna like you, but you gotta try to be likable to all of them.
Yeah.
It's don't shoot yourself in the foot ever. And like what you just said, even if it's a vegan show, if you can get out there and figure out a way to incorporate what you're doing into their topic, go do it. It's like, don't be afraid, man. Don't ever be afraid. The guys at Still Token with the Dead, Benjamin and Jeff, they're like, ask. The worst that can happen is somebody will say no, right?
Yeah, that's
okay. The worst that can happen is somebody's going to say no. So, it's like, if there's something you want to happen and there's somebody that can make it happen, if you don't ask them, it's not going to happen.
Well, that's what I did. I asked all these voice actors, and they said yes.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Don't be afraid to ask. I threw an invite to Gina Carano to come out on my con one. I ain't afraid, I mean, it can't hurt to ask, right? I mean, what's the worst gonna happen? She's gonna either ignore you or say no. Ooh. If she acknowledged me enough to say no, I'm like, yeah, she responded.
Yeah, well, you'll get her fans that have seen that. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like, so, don't be afraid, you man. I went out during one of Chris Jericho's live streams and promoted Mojo Risen, the comic book that I'm in. I don't care. Chris Jericho was a nice guy. I'm pretty sure he even liked the comment later on, because he goes through the stream. I'm pretty sure he even liked the comment later on. It was just me promoting somebody's comic book. But, like you say, you got to go out there and get as much exposure as you can. What you're involved in so many different things that you do have the wide variety of podcasts that you can go be on and be relevant in whatever they got going on. Most people, they got a comic book in a genre, and it's like, you got all kind of stuff going on. It's awesome. Tell us about some of the other stuff that was on your Indiegogo or your Kickstarter. Because you had the tiles and you had the game, but you had other stuff too. What else did you have?
I had the cocktail book. I had the mixed drinks.
Yeah.
So the shaker thing.
Right. Right.
I had the glass set where you could get like your own. We threw in like the course, so you could make your own wine, just like a pro like me. And here we go.
You said just like a pro like me.
Yeah.
There you go.
These guys. Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
We had the arcades, the tiles.
Yeah, I love the tiles. There was a whole bunch of nice tiles in there too.
Yeah, Mel for Mel's Marvels. She makes amazing tiles. We're also teaming up with Geek Yourself Out. They're gonna make us our own figures for the show.
Nice.
And we're talking about doing cosplay helmets and stuff.
Nice.
So they're gonna do all those figures for us for free. We just came to an arrangement. We're like, okay, I want to sponsor you. I'll just include the cost of our service for your event. And I'm like, yeah, sure, for sure. They're really great. They make their own everything you could think of. Like you could have your own battle armor made from a 3D printer, all printed out.
Hey, tell them if they'll make a Pops Pop, I'll talk about them all day long on CromCon. I want a Pops Pop.
Oh yeah, talk to him. He'll hook you up.
Dude, I want a Funko Pop of Pops. I really do. It's like it should be sitting right here on my desk. And for sponsorship, yeah, I mean, I'll talk about them all day long, baby.
I'd buy one of those Pops.
I'm all about that. That, you know, I mean, now that, look, I didn't know this thing was going to be going a year later. Okay. I really didn't. I figured you guys would be back at the cons. I'd be back to buying comic books. I didn't think this was going to happen. Now it's to the point where I don't know how long I'm going to be doing it. And I started trying to be a little bit more professional, you know, because now it's like I feel like I represent you guys a little bit more than before. I was just winging it, having fun. Now I feel like, you know, it's like I can impact how you do, and I want it to always come off good for you. But stuff like that, yeah, sponsorships and stuff, that's stuff that I have to look into now. This is a year old. I've been doing it on no budget, you know. It's like it'd be nice to have a budget and really be able to serve you guys and buy ads and really, you know, really be able to get it out there and seen more.
That's what I'm hoping to do. I'm working real hard to get those grants and those loans.
Yeah, that's how it is, Ben. I mean, look, it's always great talking to you, my friend. It's like I say, you come out here and you inspire me every time because you're jumping from one thing to the next. You're not stopping. It's like if you get an idea, you roll with it, and everybody needs to do that. You guys, seriously, man. If you come up with an idea, don't ever talk yourself out of taking that shot. You know, I mean, this guy's a perfect example of it, man. It's like you get an idea, roll. Look at this. He put together con way, way, way more like, you know, I don't get people out here and set up autographs and all that kind of stuff for people. I get them out here and say, here, this is where you can get their book. Woohoo! You know, it's like you took what I'm doing to another level. I love seeing stuff like that. And I just love that people are going with it. Look at, we got Max out here. He loves CromCon. Yeah, well, you should go check out that Ottawa VCon too, Max.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's how we do it. How you doing, Max? Max is the guy who does Machine Gun Mary.
Hey, man.
Or Mary Machine Gun. I'm sorry, Mary Machine Gun. Do you know Mary Machine Gun? She's wicked.
I need to check that out.
She's wicked. Yeah, I do, man. I promote so many people. It's like I get them mixed up sometimes. He knows because he does that. He sends me a banner and it's got Mary Machine Gun and Sister Mercy on it, and it's two different books. But now I'm supposed to remember and keep these books separate in my mind, right? But they're on a banner that I look at all the time when I'm going through all my banners and say, "Oh, there's Sister Mary." I mean, Sister Mary. I mean, it's like having grandkids. Whichever one you're calling is the last one whose name comes out your mouth. Every time, without fail. It's good to see you, Max. I ain't seen you in a while. I hope everything's good with you, brother. For sure. Go ahead. Tell everybody again real quick where they can find you. Give them all your rundowns, your Twitter, every place, and then check out.
So you could find me at 8shinobi on Twitter. You could find I'm on Facebook, 8-bit Shinobi. We also have Ottawa VCon 2020, 2021. You could join the event on our on Facebook, and we'll have all the information of what's going on. We have our guests. We'll put up all our updates. We have our Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh tournament going on. You could find me on YouTube, 8-bit Shinobi, where I recently did the celebrity interview with Stephanie Nadolny.
Yep.
And I do my I do all my promotion videos there. I do my gaming walkthroughs, and I recently did a video on how to make your own eggnog.
Eggnog.
Yeah.
I have to tell my daughter-in-law about that. She drinks that stuff.
Yeah, so you can make your own eggnog. It's really good. Make it before the government takes it away from you.
Do everything before the government takes it away from you. Sean, it's always great talking to you, brother.
Thank you.
You know it. We get out here. Like I said, we got CromCon coming up the end of the month. If you want to come out and talk about yours coming up at the end of next month, there's only 8 spots left. You better go sign up.
Okay, I'm definitely signing up for that.
All right, I'll send you the list of what's available.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right, it's always great seeing you, brother.
Thanks for having me on.
You bet. Peace.
Peace. Take care.
All right, I see you, Max. I see you fulfilling that Kickstarter, 95% finished. I love it. Look, everybody, fulfillment is a big thing. A really, really, really big thing. Hey, I want to thank all my guests tonight. You know, Dustin, Jason, Sean, Brandon, Ivan. Oh, man, I knew I was going to forget the other one. All you guys from over there at Chronicles, David, that's awesome. I love that thing, too. We're definitely going to be having a great year in the indie comic industry, you guys. It's pretty amazing. Do all my little shout outs to everybody, you know, Inked Marketing, you know, they're behind everybody, helping everybody out. You got the NSC Live TV always behind us, powering what we got going on. NSCLiveTV.com. Hey, you know where to find us. We're on Comic Talk with Pops Van Zandt on YouTube. You can join the madness. You know, when we're doing the show, feel free to drop questions. Welcome to Monday Madness and good night. I love that. Hello, Madness. I just want to come out here. I want to say thank you to everybody who watches, everybody who purchases somebody's stuff, all the guests, all the sponsors, my co-hosts, everybody who helps make CromCon what it is. Y'all have a great month. We will see you next month.
Come